anything close to the one from Jones Juice. Honestly, that's better. Do I know how to turn lemons into lemonade? Hey, what's up? It's Karen San Diego. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. If you are new here, I lost over 100 pounds with VSG surgery, and now I like to think I'm somewhere between maintenance mode, maybe a little bit of weight loss, and just living a life of balance. I talked about how I did gain weight after having a brachioplasty, which is loose skin removal on my arms. And originally when that first happened, my brain was like, oh, we gotta get to it. We gotta get back on a diet. We gotta lose those pounds really fast. And since then, I've kind of come to the realization that that's not how I wanna handle it. I just wanna handle it by just getting back to everything that I know I was doing before and that I know that I can do. And that's getting back to eating good meals that I enjoy, that are good for me. Getting back to moving my body, working out, walking, dancing, Pilates, whatever it is. Just getting back to moving more, getting back to just trying to limit my stress, just being in just a good, drinking my water, taking my vitamins, doing everything I know I'm supposed to do. With those things come weight loss, but I don't want to put the pressure on myself of feeling like I have to be on a certain diet for the rest of my life. Because, you know, weight loss, there's flows. Like sometimes you may gain some, sometimes you lose some, but regardless, just living a balanced lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, and just making sure you're prioritizing protein, prioritizing movement, prioritizing water, nutrients, all of that. That is how success happens long term. And I had to really have a talk with myself about that and get myself out of diet culture. Because as far along as I am on my journey, as much as I talk about kind of escaping diet culture, it's still a journey, and I still feel like I almost got sucked back into that. But no. In this phase of my journey, I just want to learn to be kind to myself, kind to my body, stop having strict expectations of what my body needs to look like, and focus on what my body should feel like, how I should feel internally, and how I feel about myself regardless of what size I am, while still being sure to be on top of my food and my nutrients and all of that. Which brings me into today's what I eat in the day. Everything I eat today, I want to try to make sure that it is balanced, because that is the way that I personally love to eat. If you've been here for a while, you'll know that I don't restrict myself, so I eat what I want to eat. It's just that the taste buds have changed. So in eating what I want to eat, I do tend to crave things that are a little bit better for me sometimes. Which brings us into the menu for today. So today for breakfast, we are going to do these, I think the brand is called Evergreen. These evergreen waffle things. I wanted to try them. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I've been seeing it in the grocery store every single time, and I've been wanting to try it, so we're gonna try it today. We're gonna do that with a egg scramble and some chicken sausage. Then for lunch, I'm thinking, I have these low carb tortillas that I really like. I think they're the whatever, the carb balance ones. I really like those. I have a few. I want to make sure that I use them, but I don't want like a Mexican type of quesadilla. So I think I'm gonna do something with maybe a little bit more Italian seasoning, maybe some pesto. I don't know, maybe some sort of spicy thing. I don't know. We're gonna figure something out. We're gonna figure something out using just what I have in my fridge. I don't want to do any grocery shopping today, so we're gonna make some sort of wrap panini quesadilla type thing for lunch. And then for dinner, I'm thinking of a protein pasta. I have protein noodles, I have chicken, I have pasta sauce, I have a bunch of different ingredients, but I want to figure out how to put that together and turn it into a protein pasta. So we're gonna figure that out for dinner. I think it's gonna be really good. And then after breakfast, I'm gonna show you guys this coffee. I came up with this delicious low sugar coffee recipe for my favorite, a brown sugar shaken espresso, oat milk shaken espresso. If you follow me on TikTok, you've already seen this recipe, but when I tell you it is good, it is so good. So I want to make sure that I give the girls on YouTube the same thing that TikTok got. So I'm going to show you guys that recipe at some point today too. I'm already craving it. Honestly, I want it now. But I've told myself that I need to eat breakfast before I drink my coffee, so I'm not gonna drink it now. Let's get right into breakfast. This is what I was talking about when I said the evergreen waffles. I've been seeing these in the supermarket pretty much every single time that I go to the store, and I wanted to try them. They said 4 grams of protein, which is a little bit misleading in my mind because 4 grams of protein, first of all, that's not a lot of protein, but then that's for 3 waffles. So for 3 waffles, you're getting 4 grams of protein. So that's like 1 change per waffle, which is not a lot of protein, which is why for this, I'm gonna try this, but I'm also gonna have it with some eggs and chicken sausage so I can get my protein that way, because this is not a high protein option. What it does have is a full serving of fruits and vegetables, which I like. It has decent ingredients, like the ingredients are not bad. It's a pretty short list and a list of things that I can understand. There's a little bit of fiber in here. And just overall, it's just a better option than just like your traditional waffle, which wouldn't have all of the extra nutrients in it. But by no means is this a high protein source. By no means, it's not necessarily like low carb. It's low carb adjacent, depending on how many you eat. I'm gonna have 1. And I would consider this to be pretty balanced, especially when you add in the other things that I'm gonna be putting on my plate. And I just want to try it, so. I'm just gonna do like spinach, scrambled eggs, and then I still have these Amy Lou chicken sausages. If you watched my last What I Eat in a Day, I got these from Sprouts, and they were actually really, really good. Like, I'm not even like a breakfast sausage type of girl. I typically reach for turkey bacon. But these were really good. I have like 5 left. How many should I do? I'll do 3. So for my eggs, I'm just gonna cut up a handful of spinach like into really, really small pieces and toss that in with the scrambled egg. For me, spinach is just the literal easiest way for me to get greens in. I'm not like someone who loves to eat a bunch of salads, although I don't hate salad. That's not my preference. So just sneaking spinach literally into anything that can have spinach in it is just my best bet to like really make sure that I'm getting greens in every day. So they almost always go in my eggs. I'm not gonna do like a bunch of other stuff with my eggs today. I think we're gonna go just spinach and 2 eggs. Let's see what these are looking like. Oh, these are little. Aw. Smells good. Maybe I'll do 2 because they're small. So I'm gonna put 2 of these and the breakfast sausages into the air fryer while I make my eggs. All right, let's do a little taste test. I'm gonna start with the waffle because that's what I don't know what it tastes like. That's pretty good, kind of like a less sweet version of like a carrot cake type of thing. I like that. It's good. Definitely recommend the waffle. The rest, we already know what eggs and sausage taste like. These Amy Lou sausage links are really good if you haven't tried them before. Bomb. But I'm gonna eat the rest of this off camera and I'll check back in with you guys when it's time to make that coffee. Promise you, you're gonna love it. I'm not making the coffee yet. I just wanted to show you all my breakfast. I ate all of the waffles, I ate the sausage, and I did not eat that much of the eggs because I don't know what happened. Somewhere in the middle of eating the eggs, they just started to taste too much like eggs. Like for me, the egg ick is so real. Like, I don't know, like I was excited about them. I'm sitting here eating my eggs, and then they just, I was like, ew, this tastes like eggs. So that was that. And luckily at the point where the eggs started tasting too much like eggs, I was already full anyway. So, well, not full, but like content. So yeah, I don't want any more of that. The waffles were surprisingly really good though. Like the more I started eating them, like with every bite I took, it tastes better and better to me. So I will be repurchasing that, and I saw that they did have another flavor. I'm gonna try those too because it was really good. So now I'm just gonna let my food digest a little bit, and then I'm gonna make my coffee. I'm so excited about this. Y'all don't understand. I'm so excited about this coffee. Okay, so now it's time for the coffee. Can you tell I'm excited? If you're on TikTok all the time, like I am, you've probably seen this coffee already. It's the Nescafe espressos. I had to hunt for these. Like every single store I went to was completely sold out of them, but I got my hand on both the Intense and the Blonde. I've tried both. I have videos of both tries on TikTok. But I think the Blonde is just a little bit better than the Intense. But y'all, this is instant coffee that tastes like an expensive cup of coffee. I don't know how they do it, but it's true. I have all my little ingredients right here, but I'm gonna show you my favorite thing to make with this. And outside, like if I was to go to a coffee shop right now, I would order a brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso every single time. But I recognize that those usually have a lot of sugar in it. And like I said, I like to try to find ways to still enjoy all the things that I love to enjoy without all of the extra sugar. So this is how I make this. So I use the Nescafe Blonde espresso, and the serving size it calls for on there is 1 teaspoon. I'm gonna use 3. Now, if you are sensitive to caffeine, use 1. If you want, go ahead and use 2, but don't use 3 unless you are kind of crazy like me. Like, that's just my personal preference. Like when I order coffee, I always get like an extra double shot in there. I need it, I'm a mom, okay? And then with the coffee in this little thing, you're going to add in warm water, not hot water. This is just warm water from like the tap. And I'm gonna add that. My cup has like little measurement lines on it. I'm gonna go to a little bit above the 2 ounce mark. And then with my little whisk, just mix that up. And once you start to see the froth on top, like the white layer of froth, that's how you know that you're done with that. Then, in a shaker bottle, and you can use anything, you can pour this into like any bottle that can be closed. I'm just using like this cocktail shaker. I'm gonna pour in the espresso. To make this a brown sugar shaken espresso, but still make it low sugar, I'm gonna be using this brown sugar substitute. It's from Truvia. And this is a 0-calorie sweetener, but it tastes just like brown sugar. The serving size for this is 2 teaspoons, and I'm sticking with that. I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of this brown sugar substitute in here. I'm also gonna add in some organic pure maple syrup into here. And the serving size for this is 2 tablespoons for 27 grams of sugar, but I'm going to use 1 tablespoon instead. And then I'm going to add in some cinnamon, and I'm just gonna do like three big shakes. 1, 2, 3. Cinnamon. Secure that and shake this up. I'm gonna get my ice. My favorite oat milk. It's this one. This one is the silk oatmeal, deliciously creamy. And they meant it. Like, it is super, super creamy. And then you're going to just pour this right on over. And then I'm going to add in a splash, just a splash of this silk oat creamer. This is the maple and brown sugar. This is the maple and brown sugar flavor. And when I say a splash, the serving is 1 tablespoon. And that is exactly how much we're going to use, 1 tablespoon. Because 1 tablespoon is 4 grams of sugar. And that's where creamers be getting you. Because you think, oh, it's only 4 grams of sugar. Let me go ahead and use this, low sugar. But no, they get you by telling you it's low sugar because you're gonna use more than a tablespoon. I'm gonna use a tablespoon. No words. No words. It is honestly probably the best coffee I ever made. And it comes from a can. Like, mind you, I have an espresso. I also have a Keurig up there. I have a Keurig and an espresso. And this, hands down, the best iced coffee I ever made. I still think that my Nespresso makes the best warm coffee, but iced coffee, oh baby. It is 12:22. I have to, Ryan, for whatever reason, has a half day today. I don't know what it's for, but she has a half day today. So she gets out of school in an hour. I'm trying to decide if I think I can squeeze lunch in before I go get her, or if I'm gonna make it when she comes home. Probably gonna end up doing it when she comes home because by the time I start chopping anything up, it's gonna be time to get her. Like, I don't know how that went by so fast, but I'm going to demolish this coffee, go get her, and then come back and make lunch, which I think is still gonna be like some sort of wrap panini type vibe. I gotta like really rummage through my kitchen, and it's gonna be one of those things where you kind of just throw in whatever you got type thing. But what I do know is it's gonna be good. Be right back. I'm not making lunch just yet. I had to go walk to get Ryan, but I wanted to show you guys. I'm just gonna have some strawberries as a snack. But if you watched my what I eat in a day last week, these are the same strawberries that I had cut and prepped last week. Same ones, and they're still good. And I told you, like, if you ever met a strawberry, you know that strawberries rot the minute you put them in the fridge. But the thing about prepping your strawberries, washing them, cutting them, putting them in a glass container, I don't know what it does to these strawberries, but it keeps them super fresh. So a week later, I'm finally finishing all of these strawberries. So I need to go to the store, but not today, because we're not spending money today. But yeah, this is gonna be my it's afternoon. This is my afternoon snack. Just some strawberries, just the remainder, what I have left in here. All right, I'm back and it's time to make some lunch. I said I was gonna make something with chicken, but I think instead of chicken, I think I'm gonna do something more like, I don't know if you ever had the Joe and the Juice spicy tuna, like not the tunacado because I'm allergic to avocado, but they have like a spicy tuna wrap type of thing. It's like a sandwich, but I'm gonna do it on like a low carb wrap instead. With like some pepper, some hot sauce, like everything that typically is in the Joe and the Juice spicy tuna. But I think I might also add in my own little things in there, I think. What?
I want to say to the camera. Hi.
Okay, bye. Go. Alright, so I'm gonna start with some solid white albacore tuna in water. So for this part, I'm just going to make the tuna like normal. Just gonna put the tuna into the bowl. The one at Joe and the Juice is like a tuna mousse. So they take the tuna and they put it in the, I'm making a mess. So they take the tuna and they put it into the blender to make like a mousse. I did that before when making this at home, and in my opinion, I don't think that it makes like a huge difference in the taste. It only, of course, makes a difference in the texture, which I didn't find worth the extra effort to like blend this down into a mousse. So I'm just going to like just normal fluff that up, get it nice and flaky, so there's no like huge chunks, because especially when you're dealing with solid white tuna, if there's big chunks, it's gonna get super like dry, and that's not what we want. I think the only ingredient that I'm missing is tomatoes, which is a shame, but like I said, I'm not doing groceries today. So I'm just going with whatever ingredients I already have. I'm gonna use mayonnaise with the tuna to get it creamy. And I think I'm also gonna chop up a little bit of a red onion in there with the tuna. I don't think this is in the Joe and the Juice version, but this is gonna be in my version. Because I have a lot of red onion, so I wanna just try to make sure I use everything that I have in my fridge before things end up going bad and then I'm wasting groceries. I have a really bad habit of overbuying groceries and then just throwing away perfectly good food because I never got around to actually using it. For me, the best way for me to make sure that I'm not just like wasting so much food every single time is that I am not going grocery shopping until I'm like completely out of groceries and have no option other than to go ahead and go to the store. Because the amount of food I waste every single time I clean out my cabinets is, I think, criminal. Like I really, like it's a little bit too wasteful for me. While we're sitting here making this, I wanted to have a little chat about something that's been on my mind like pretty heavily recently. And this comes from the fact that like I've gained some weight, right? So I talk about that in my last video. I talked about that a little bit towards the beginning of this video. And keep in mind, in putting on a little bit of weight, like I'm by no means like back to where I was before. I by no means, like I don't put myself in the like you failed category or anything like that. Like I don't do that to myself. But at the same time, more so than feeling like I need to get physically smaller, the thing that I felt the most pressure for was the feeling like I needed to get back down to my smallest size, like as far as like the pant size. I feel like at my smallest, and I still can fit into some of the clothes, but at my smallest, my pant size was a 6. And now I'm definitely like in an 8, like my size 6 clothes do not fit anymore. And there's just something about getting into that size 6 that made me feel really good about being a size 6. And I feel like a lot of my pressure to like actually lose weight was just because I did not want to have to go and size back up in all of my clothes, because I had bought like a pretty full wardrobe in a size 6 and love my clothes. And I think that's a huge part of it. Like I just did not want to have to size up. And then even in that, like right now I wear a size 8, but there's certain things, like 8 is my size for sure, but there's certain things in the 8 to where it's like, if you're someone who has loose skin in the like abdominal area and like your stomach area, you know that sometimes if you wear pants that is your size, it can like fit in a way that kind of pinches the loose skin to make it hang over. And it's not fat that's hanging over. It's literally loose skin that's hanging over. But for me, it was really, really difficult for me to see myself with that skin hanging over. If you understand what I mean? Like I know that like, although I wear an 8, if I was to get a size 10 or even a 12 in some cases, for a 12, I would certainly need to tailor it. But if I could get a pant size that was bigger than what my size is and then tailor it, I could get it to where the waist was loose so the skin doesn't hang over, but the rest of the pants fits well. But something in my brain is just having a hard time allowing me to pick up anything bigger than an 8. And I think it's the trauma from being plus sized my whole life. Well, not my whole life, but for like a large majority of my life, that really has me like afraid of going back to that place, to the point where like I know that the clothes would look better if I just bought it bigger. But my brain is just really wanting me to stay in as small of a size as possible. Like the fact that I got down to the 6, my brain, and it was just like, oh, I'm a 6, but I could probably even fit a 4. Like my brain really liked that, to where the concept of potentially having to be a bigger size than that, I don't know, that's just really messing with my brain. And I'm trying to get myself to stop thinking of it that way and to realize that what should really matter is wearing clothes that fit me. And I shouldn't be so obsessed about like things being so perfect and being as small of a size as possible. But I think honestly, that's what's messing me up more than the actual weight gain. Because I think even with a little bit of extra weight on me, I look good. Something I noticed is like my boobs are more plump, like, you know, things are filled out a little bit nicer with some weight on me. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, I really wanted to be a size 6 though. Like I liked that number. So just trying to like rework my brain to not think that way is something that I've definitely been struggling with, but something that I'm aware of and I'm trying to like get myself out of. While yes, I can still lose weight the healthy way of like just going about it by eating things that are better for me, keeping my calories low, keeping my meals balanced and small. And like with time that may cause some weight loss, but I want it to be losing weight because I'm just living a healthy lifestyle, not losing weight because I feel like I need to be a size 6 again. I went off topic and forgot to mention, I just cut these Mission Low Carb Balance tortillas into the shape of 2 rectangles, because that's what the sandwich, like the pita thins that they use at Joe and the Juice, look like. So I was trying to kind of mimic that idea, and then I'm gonna take these and kind of just toast them on the stove. All right, now it's time to assemble the sandwich for both sides. So for the Joe and the Juice one, they use pesto. So I have my pesto as always. Pesto is one of those things I always keep in stock. Like there's always pesto in this house. And I love the one from Costco. I'm gonna put some spinach down on one side. This is not part of the typical sandwich, but like I said, I just have spinach, so I'm just gonna use it. And then right on top of the spinach, I'm gonna put the tuna. For Joe and the Juice, they use Tabasco sauce on top of that to make it like spicy. And then for more spice, they use some pickled jalapenos. All right, so let's see if this tastes anything close to the one from the Joe and the Juice. Honestly, that's better. I really do amaze myself every single day. I could eat this every day. And honestly, it's not too spicy. Like, for me anyway, I really like spicy food. But even if you're not a spicy food lover, I don't think this is like too spicy. It's literally perfect. A tomato with an 8 in this. I really should have had a tomato. I'm gonna go ahead and tear this up. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna eat this whole entire thing. No crumbs left over. Since the bread is just a tortilla, this has 4 grams of net carbs. Keep in mind, I did cut some of it off, so it'll be a little bit less than that, but super low carb. Tuna has a ton of protein. The can of tuna has 29 grams of protein. I used most of it. There's still some left here. So all in all, super high protein. I add the spinach there to add some greens, low carb, and most importantly, so delicious. You gotta try this. All right, let me eat this and I will catch back in with you guys for dinner. All right, it's dinner time and I'm going to make some sort of like high protein pasta. I don't have a recipe, so I'm going to kind of use my brain and think as I go with this. To make this pasta, I'm gonna use this Barilla protein pasta. This is not my favorite. I prefer the Goodles brand or the Banza brand. Banza has more protein, but they've had like some recalls recently, so I usually stick to the Goodles brand. I think that one sometimes has like 20 grams of protein, whereas this one only has 10 grams of protein, but we're gonna protein it up in other ways. To add some extra protein to this, we're gonna add chicken breast and Greek yogurt. I would have preferred, this one says 0% milk fat. I would have preferred one that was full fat for this, just because I think that would cook better. But like I said, I'm not doing groceries. I'm using what I have, and I have this entire container of plain Greek yogurt that expires in like 4 days. So we're gonna use it. I think I'll start by going ahead and just boiling the noodles while I get everything else ready. Always salt your water when you're boiling pasta. Don't ask me why, I genuinely don't know. I just know you're supposed to always salt your water when you're boiling pasta. While that boils, I'm going to clean my chicken and get started on seasoning this. I know not everybody cleans their chicken. I know that's one of those like age-old debates on whether or not you should clean chicken. For me, it's just something that I have to do. Like, I can't not clean my chicken. I don't know if it's the Caribbean thing. I don't know what it is, but I have to clean my chicken whether or not I know that it's okay not to. I go ahead and clean my chicken with just some lime juice. Then I'm just going to put the chicken breast on a paper towel and make sure that they are dry before I start seasoning them. I want this a little bit thinner, so I'm gonna just cut them straight in half. I'm gonna coat the front and back of these with olive oil. And season them generously on both sides with garlic powder, onion powder, Creole seasoning, or you can use Cajun seasoning. I'm just using what I have. I'm not gonna try to pronounce this one because last time y'all said I said it wrong, so I get nervous about pronouncing stuff wrong. But this one is like a Cajun seasoning without any salt. So I just put that on there to add some more flavor without adding more salt. And smoked paprika. This is mostly just for the color because we want them to be nice and like red. And then you're just gonna go in with your hands and just massage them until they look completely coated. I'm gonna set this aside and get out some garlic and some white onion. I would typically use a shallot for this, but I don't have any shallots and I'm not going to the grocery store. Meals like this where I try to make something that was a favorite of mine when I was heavier and try to find ways to make it still taste good but just be a little bit healthier is like some of my favorite meals to make, just because it just reminds me that I really don't have to sacrifice good food just for the sake of being able to stay on top of my goals. Like, there's always a way to make something that is comforting without sacrificing taste, because food is enjoyment. Food is meant to be enjoyed. Yes, food is to sustain your body and to keep you healthy, and food is fuel. But food is also for celebration. It's also for you to enjoy, and getting this surgery doesn't mean that you have to stop enjoying food just because you want to lose weight. You can do both. And I really hope that I do a good job at showing that versatility and showing that you don't have to just eat boring food. You don't have to do the whole piece of turkey wrapped on a cheese and like that's all you're eating. Like, you don't have to eat like that. Now, granted, foods like that can come in clutch when you're in a bind and you don't know what to eat and you're just looking for something quick to just satisfy you. But when you want to have some of the foods that you loved before, you can still have them. Just find ways to make them work for you and provides you a little bit more nutrient than you would have been concerned about before. But also, if you want to just have the food without worrying about macros, you can do that too within moderation. I really like garlic, so I'm gonna chop up a few cloves of garlic, more than someone who doesn't like garlic would. And of course, if you don't want to go through the hassle of like peeling and chopping garlic, you can always just use like the minced garlic in a jar. I just feel like food just tastes a little bit better when you chop up the garlic fresh, but it's honestly not gonna make like so much of a difference that you have to deal with this if you're not someone, like if you're looking for quick and easy meals, this would be so much easier if you just use like the pre-chopped stuff. If you don't mind, I think it's definitely worth the extra effort. All right, the water is boiling, so now I'm going to put the pasta in as well as heat up the pan for the chicken. Pasta's in. For the chicken, I'm gonna just add some olive oil to this like super big pan that I'm always like cooking things in. I love this pan because like nothing sticks to it. Once that's hot, I'm gonna add the chicken in. Okay, I'm gonna take the chicken off and set it to the side. And then for the pasta, I'm going to take out about a cup of the pasta water. The chopped up onions and garlic. I want to say maybe about a cup of the Greek yogurt. That's probably more than a cup. But melt that down. And we're gonna add in some of the pasta water and cook that until it becomes like a creamy paste. A creamy sauce, more so, not paste. I'm noticing that this immediately started to curd up, so I'm going to scratch it. Scratching that plan because it did not go exactly as planned. I watched a few tutorials on people who use Greek yogurt to make pasta, but I'm not going to give up because thankfully I did not put the pasta in there. So luckily I always have a plan B, and my plan B is to just, I have some pasta sauce, so let's just dump the pasta sauce in there. With a little bit of the pasta water. And again, about a cup of Greek yogurt. I think part of what could have messed me up here is the fact that this is 0% fat, and I think full fat would have done better. So if you want to still try this, try it with the full fat. I think that might work better than using no fat, because I feel like it just needs something to like bind it together, or else it's gonna start to curd like that and the sauce is gonna break. So let's see. Take two. That is actually delicious. So I want to avoid this sauce breaking too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put the spaghetti back in the pot with a little bit of water and heat this up, and then just toss it in the sauce. So I don't even give the sauce time to like break again. While that's going, I'm gonna add a little bit of Parmesan cheese directly into there. Once again, just trying to avoid putting the sauce with the yogurt in it until the very end, just so it doesn't break. Lowering the heat when I put the sauce in to avoid breaking it. Adding some garlic salt since this did not get any of the seasoning. And in the spirit of not wasting groceries, I'm gonna rip up some spinach and add that in there for some color and to use up my spinach before it expires. I know at this point I'm freestyling, but for the interest of just a little bit more flavor, I'm gonna add in some of this Trader Joe's Italian Bomba sauce. It's basically just like a Calabrian chili pepper, but it's really spicy. So if you're sensitive to spice, go easy on this. I'm gonna use like that much. That much. I'm gonna go ahead and call this my little masterpiece, because boy, did it take some trials and tribulations to get here, but we got here. I'm gonna start off by tasting my chicken. Juicy, flavorful, all of that. And then the pasta, the piece de resistance. Do I know how to turn lemons into lemonade? I might as well be a chef, honestly. All right, so that is it for today's What I Eat in a Day. As you can see, I don't always get it right, but I'm always down to just like try something new on a whim to figure out how to make my food as good as possible while still sticking to try to make it high protein. In the case of this meal, the flub actually turned into something that was almost better than what I was expecting. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments which one of these meals are you most excited to try. I'm gonna be dropping What I Eat in a Day videos every Sunday moving forward, so there is plenty more to see. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this from me, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.
Where in the world is Karen San Diego? From BK to Belly, it's anywhere she say so. She changing your life, can see it straight through her eyes.